Hello, my beautiful lovelies. Welcome back to Heathens Rising. It is rather late um, while I'm posting this video, but I couldn't leave my lovelies hanging. Not with llamas right around the corner, which technically is. So forgive me if my energy is not as high or I sound a little down in the dumps. I'm not feeling too well, and I have my son asleep next to me. Remember my autistic son I told you about? Yeah, he was having a meltdown. Oh, quick side note. Y'all notice anything different? Anything different at all? Hmm? Okay, we're getting besides the point. Okay, so I am going to be showing you guys not an elaborate one, because let's be real, who really has the time, excuse me, to set up an elaborate altar with an elaborate ritual? Hey, if you do, I'm jealous as shit because I want to do that. That's exactly what I want. So this video is for more of the practical, to give ideas and inspirations, um, and for you to build up off of your own and have your own thoughts and your own words, but it's just to give you some ideas. So my ray of sunshine, Brittany, love you darling, you're my squishy. She just, or she's in the process of uploading a video, giving a brief explanation about llamas, how it started, where it came from, some of its correspondences. And my video is to basically give you an idea of a little altar setup that you can set up either inside, outside, however you want. Do bear in mind that just because, like, let's say you're working, or let's say you're like me and life gets in the way a good majority of the time, you make plans and then life laughs. They're like, oh, that's funny. You thought you were gonna do that. That's hilarious. Please keep sending them. You're a comic genius. You know what I mean? So I'm going to follow up her video with an idea of an altar setup, some correspondences. She was talking about the god Lu. I am going to talk about the Grand Mother and give you a lay of the land. So let me flip some shit around here. Okay. Now, like I said, this is just a little brief setup, okay? What I like to do is have my little altar, and you can see it's little, it doesn't have to be huge. And I like to use corresponding stones when and if I have them, and then my incense in the back. Okay, so while we're watching this, let me refer to my notes, and we will talk about the Green Mother, if it doesn't blind me while I'm doing it. At Lammas, the goddess is in her aspect as Grain Mother, Harvest Mother, Harvest Queen, Earth Mother, Ceres, and Demeter. Demeter, as Corn Mother, represents the ripe corn of this year's harvest, and her daughter, I'm sorry, I lost my place, and her daughter's core/Persephone represents the grain. I have to keep looking up and make sure it's not moving because I have to hold this whilst I'm doing it. So forgive me, y'all. Let's see if I can make it a little bit better. Okay, the seed which drops back deep into the dark earth, hidden throughout the winter, and reappears in the spring as new growth. This is the deep core meaning of llamas, and comes in different guises. It is about the fullness and fulfillment of the present harvest, holding at its heart the seed of all future harvests. It is a fact that a pregnant woman carrying her as yet young-born daughter is also already carrying the ovary containing all the eggs her daughter will ever release. She is already both mother, grandmother, and beyond, embodying the great motherline, pure magic and mystery. So as the grain harvest is gathered in, there is food to feed the community through the winter, and within that harvest is the seed of next year's rebirth, regeneration, and harvest. The grain mother is ripe and full. Heavily pregnant, she carries the seed of the New Year's sun god within her. There is tension here, for the sun god, the god of the harvest, the green man, or John Barleycorn, surrenders his life with the cutting of the corn. And that's a brief yet condensed down description. Now, let's talk about like things you can use, correspondences, stuff like that. The colors are usually associated, or the colors usually associated with this time of year are earthly oranges, browns, yellows, and golds. The colors are used to symbolize the harvest and the sense of renewal that comes with it. Often, worshipers use these colors in every aspect of their celebration. The themes in which you can do and use, for like how I've set it up, a lot of the themes focus not only on the harvest, but on underlining ideas such as renewal, giving thanks, making sacrifices. Mourning is also a theme that is highlighted, since Lu's games were an origin of the holiday. Excuse me, y'all. Activities and rituals that you can do or perform at this time of the year. Worshippers celebrate in various ways, whether in solitude or as part of a family or group, harvesting one's own crops, participating in games, reciting chants in honor of the season, baking breads and berry pies for feasts or for sacrifice and rituals, and arts and crafts like making corn dollies, that's actually one of my favorites. I'll have to show y'all that at one time. And harvest knots are all ways in which llamas is honored. I'm sorry, y'all. I told you I wasn't feeling good. And I keep feeling like I'm moving it. I'm so sorry. My apologies, y'all. Once upon a llama's night, when corn rigs are bonny, beneath the moon's unclouded fight, I held a while to Annie. The time went by with careless heed, beneath the late and early. With small persuasion she agreed to see me through the barley. Corn rigs and barley rigs, corn rigs are bonny. If not, forget that happy night among the rigs with Annie. And that's a poem by Robert Burns. So, what I like to use, or the things associated with it, I'm actually using this in place of votive candles. I would usually have a rose votive candle and a cinnamon votive candle. But stones that you can use are clear quartz. This one I can't hardly see because I had to keep the lights low. This is my red tiger's eye. This is one of my black obsidians. This is my carnelian. This is aventurine. And over here, did it fall? Over there was my citrine, because that's yet another one you can use. But something I want to point out is, if I can find it, sorry y'all, this video was made on the fly, but I couldn't leave y'all hanging with llamas coming right around the corner. So I had taken out my citrine crystal because those are the crystals that you use in accordance with llamas. But I want to show you a quick little trick and get around, if you will, if you can see it. You see this ring? This is a citrine ring. Let's say you don't have something like a citrine crystal or something carnelian. Most people have clear quartz. That's just something that, it's like a go-to number one. But if you don't have certain crystals, it's okay to use it as a ring in place of that crystal, or a bracelet or a necklace, it's perfectly okay to substitute that crystal with something like this. It's a ring, and then I would set it back here, which would be where my 2 votive candles are. As you can see, I'm improvising with what I have, which is exactly what you can do. If you don't have votive candles, you can set it up just like this. You can use 2 regular tea lights if you don't have that as well. And yeah, that's just, whoops, sorry, it fell. That's just something to give you an example of on something small, personal. I mean, you can make it as elaborate as you want, but I'm just showing you something small and personal and quick because most people don't have a lot of time to take care of things like this. The incense that I use personally, I use frankincense, I use myrrh, I use honey, I use usually anything that correlates with the harvest and wheat and stuff like that. And you can find incenses aplenty on Etsy, Amazon, 13 Moons, any metaphysical shop. You can find them absolutely anywhere. Okay, so in wrapping up this little ritual here, and like I said, you can do it inside or outside, and I'm actually quite proud of it. It's going to bug me until I find my other crystal, but I absolutely love it. And if you're wondering what my little altar looks like, that's what it looks like. I have the carnelian, the, just lost the word in my head, the black jade stone, the clear quartz, the red tiger's eye, and the aventurine. And I guess it was a perfect timing that I didn't find my citrine, because I'm using that in place of that crystal. Okay. Come back. So, spells and rituals that are good to do during this time. Prosperity spells, abundance spells, cleansing, protection spells. I had notes, you guys. Y'all always know that I do. But once the night got later and later and more crazy and crazy, I was just like, they're going to get what they get and don't throw a fit at all. And don't forget that I made several articles in the group as well, if you want to go back and refer and, you know, take some inspiration from there and, you know, go from there, work from there. But yeah, it's all about the harvest. It's all about berries, making pies, making breads, coming together and giving thanks to the grain mother, giving thanks to the King Lu, which that's where the name comes from, which is like L-O-O. Simple to remember than that long, the long ass one. Lughnasadh. I always hate saying it because I feel like I butcher every single amazing Celtic traditional name. I do. I feel like I just butcher it. So I hope this helped you guys. I hope it helped give you some ideas. Like I said, it bugs me when I don't have all of the things that I need or that I'm looking for. But just remember, white candles, tea lights, whatever, are a perfect replacement for that. And you can take up or do a little makeshift, set up a little makeshift altar like I showed you. I'm so sorry it was moving around, guys. I don't have any place to set it, so I'm holding you all in my hand. And in my heart is where I always hold you guys. So there's that. So before I go, I am going to flip you around so you can see the altar one more time, or the little makeshift altar. And remember, if it's something you don't have, stop messaging me when I'm recording. If it's something you don't have, it's perfectly acceptable to, you know, use replacements like jewelry or a ring or a bracelet, stuff like that. Herbs that are good to use: rosemary, mint. I'm like the biggest fan of that. Cinnamon, obviously, rose. I love using all of those herbs and all of those scents. So I'm going to flip you all around one more time if this person doesn't stop sending me messages. Go away. Don't you guys just love it? I absolutely love it. It's just I'm in awe of it. I'm in absolute awe. All right, a llama's prayer. The corn king gives his life for the land. We toast his sacrifice with ale in our hand, and eat the bread from the harvest made, as sheaves of corn to the earth are laid. Transformation surrounds us, the harvest turned to food and drink. Now is the time to learn and to think of what we can do to grow even stronger. As the summer recedes and nights grow longer, we share our rewards and bless the earth that brings our fruitful abundance to birth. May our well-earned bounty reward our toil as we harvest the seed and grain from the soil. Sorry, y'all. I don't mean for that light to be bothering y'all, but it's the only way I can see my notes. And then usually after I say a prayer, and remember, these are all just examples of what you can do. Write your own, make your own, really make it your own, make it something that, you know, is yours. Make it about you and the deities that you are honoring. And I always like to give gratitude and thanks and show my appreciation and how grateful I am for all that I have. So usually after whatever prayer or ritual I say, I always thank whoever I'm working with. And of course, as I say it, so mote it be. Thank you so much. Thank you, my dear guides. Thank you, my dear goddess Hecate. Thank you to the Harvest King. Thank you to the Grain Mother. I do a lot of thanks. I give a lot of thanks. And as I say it, so mote it be. So I hope this has helped give you guys some ideas. I'm so sorry things are a bit wobbly and shaky, but it is like 4 o'clock in the morning where I'm at. And I feel like I'm getting sick, and I hate that. I don't like that at all. But yeah, I hope it helps give you ideas, and don't forget, check out the guides in the group, because I just did some wonderful articles on llamas, and I think a lot of y'all will benefit from it and enjoy it. Thank you so much, my lovelies. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of everything, and I wish you nothing but the most beautiful of llama celebrations, and however you see fit to celebrate it. Even if that's lighting a candle and holding a crystal and saying a few words, yes, that still counts. Trust me. Whether you say something out loud or think it and feel it in your heart and in your spirit and with everything in you, trust me, it counts. I love you, my heathens. Thank you for being you. And remember, you are so important and you are needed in this world, and I would be lost without you. Happy celebrations, my beauties. Mwah, mwah. I love you guys.